What's up, travelers? Prince Nick's coming to you from the Cineverse. I'm out here in Mill Outdoor Theater today, and what I thought I'd talk about is the idea of your value proposition, or more specifically, what value do you add to your customers? Now, a lot of businesses simply miss this because they're thinking about what value can I get instead of what value can I give to the customer. So I want to talk about how taking value affects your business, some of the ways we want to think about value or giving value to the customers, and how value can actually affect your image of your business long term. So let's get right into it. So let me ask you, wouldn't it sound good to create a product you don't have to worry about putting that much effort in, and you could just get millions of dollars, you could create little value and get the most or maximum amount possible? Doesn't that sound great? Now, I'm being a bit sarcastic, but that's pretty much how a lot of people will approach business, and that's why we get a lot of mediocre or watered down products that really don't provide much value to the customer. Now, when I first started off in business, that's kind of how I thought about things, about how little value can I put in and get the most amount possible out of it. Now, this comes from just my ignorance to the way businesses operate, because, coming from the place I'm coming from, I'm thinking, that you want to minimize the effort that you put in and maximize the value. But what I found out in the long term is that people can see right through it. With all the resources out now, for example, if you're going to look up a club, if you're going to look up a restaurant, you can just look up Yelp and you can see thousands of not interviews, but reviews on how the quality of the service, the quality of the restaurant, the quality of the food. So it becomes more important to separate yourself to put out value. So how does value taking then affect our business in the long term? Well, I would tell you that it's more about the reputation you build up. Take something like a promotion, or like a restaurant, for example. You got people coming in, and they're coming in week to week, and they're trying to derive some type of value from it. And this is part of you as a business owner's job, is to give value to your customer. But say you don't really take your customer serious. You just look at your customers as another dollar sign, and you're just churning out half-done stuff. You're really not thinking about special features or offers you can provide to the customers. Your customers ultimately get bored. Because there's one thing that's true: you're not providing value, somebody else will. Somebody definitely will, and you'll find yourself falling behind. Now, a lot of businesses wonder, it's like some magical thing has happened where their business is going downhill, and they can't understand how their business is getting to the point where it's not bringing in customers like it used to. And that's because they've stopped providing value, providing other things besides their product or besides their service that give value to the customer. So when you think about this, how do we want to think about value? What are some of the ways we want to look at value, and how do we want to give value to the customers? Well, the simple way is, if you have a product, you have a service, you have something that you're giving to the product and to the client, think about how you're going to provide value. The value you provide outside of the product may be something like special offers. You even taking the time to make extra phone calls to assist them. Thinking about everything, or thinking about the customer experience overall. You want the customer to have an experience where they think about your product over every other product because you provide more value. And a lot of people talk about price as if it's the main determining factor, but people buy things for a lot of other reasons besides price. For example, there's psychological factors that come in when you think about buying a product. So, for example, you might have an emotional connection with the clerk at a clothing store, and that's why you always buy from them. Or it might provide some type of happiness, or your child likes it, or any number of reasons, or maybe it provides you a level of prestige. There's a lot more emotional reasons that attribute to why somebody buys something. These are some of the factors we think about when we think about buying decisions. So if somebody can provide the value of, saying, being prestigious, that's going to add a lot of value to your product. But that's not your product specifically. That's something you've added on top of your product. So let's think about brand image. How does this affect your brand long term? Well, when you come from a value-taking perspective, or trying to take as much value as you can from the customer, what tends to happen is that your customers start looking at you as a value leech, and they start thinking of you as a cheap or a lowbrow brand. Now, over time, you may be able to correct this if you look at a business and say, I'll start fixing this, I'll start working on these things, and I'll start thinking about the ways I can add more value to my product. Now, if you don't do this, the result comes, your business starts going downhill. You start losing customers, you don't retain customers as well, and you're sitting there thinking, what happened? Where did all my customers go? But The simple answer is the customers went to where the value was. So if you're not thinking about value in your business, you're always going to fall into the trap of the customer going to somewhere else to find that value. So to wrap this up, I hope you can see how thinking about your value proposition in your business can really expand your business, whether that be how value taking affects your business and how it can actually drain the amount of customers you can get. And thinking about value in the right way of what value can I give first, or how can I provide the best customer experience, over how can I just get some type of profit, or how can I take some from the customer. And finally, how it affects your image in the long term. You don't want to be one of those companies that people look at and they really don't have a trust or any brand loyalty to, because you're simply taking all the value you can get. Because let's be honest, we don't buy just based on price. We buy on emotional reasons. Like I said, we want to look good. We want prestige. We want power. We want our friends to like us. We want all these different factors contribute to why people buy stuff. I mean, you may buy a product for years and years because just because the emotional value it provided to maybe your child or something, and it really resonated with you. And the same can be said about a lot of things. So I'm out here at Mill Outdoor Theater. I enjoyed shooting this video. This is a place I like to come to often. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it provided value to you. If there's anything you want to hear me discuss on this video blog, as always, leave me a comment below or send a link to this email. Also, like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.